Hello, TGI Friday, TGIF. It's Natalie, the Dear Hairdresser, checking in with you at the end of April here with an amazing announcement. Good things do happen to good people. What's been going on in the world? Well, we just moved out of a full moon that was in Libra. You know what Libra is? Libra are the scales, right? The balancing act. I have been tapping into the collective energy and feeling like this is a time where hard work is being rewarded. As I had mentioned in a previous video, the seeds that you have sown are now coming to fruition. This could mean things that maybe you had put into effect a long time ago, right? Now we're finally starting to see the results of these actions. So that's been kind of swimming around in my head. Personally, what I've been feeling in my life is almost like a pause point where I can look around and think, oh, you know what? I have achieved things. A lot of times we get caught up in this rat race of needing to get the next achievement and move on to the next linear goal to prove that we are progressing and growing and that we're good enough. This is a really distracting cycle to get caught up in because it doesn't allow you to sit back and appreciate the achievements that you've already done and recognizing that you kind of are where you want to be. So that is the feeling that I've been having lately is like, okay, you know, this story, as I had written down, you know, trying to ditch my old story of a struggling single mom. Well, that's something that I wouldn't have been able to ditch if I couldn't open my eyes and look around and see like, oh, I'm really not struggling as bad anymore. So when you're shifting into a new reality and trying to change your thought patterns and processes, a lot of times what ends up happening is that you have untangled the knots, but it takes a little while for that to kind of show up in your world a little bit, the ripple effect of that. So I've been feeling like I'm living in a different world, but I haven't been seeing the results of that. Well, enter Libra full moon, and the energy that I had was just feeling very much like, okay, there's nowhere to go anymore. There's nothing to do. It's really just a time to pay attention to how I already have all the things that I've been trying to achieve and that they are blossoming for me right now. I've also been sick this week, and that has felt like kind of a cleansing, and I have been coughing up a lot of phlegm and stuff in my throat. Sorry about that. It's a yucky word, I know. But it's been feeling like I've been letting go of a lot of stuff, you know, and just kind of like clearing out the way. And when I start to feel like I'm a little bit run down or that my body's shifting, what that means in my world is that I think I am moving into a new way of being. And so my body's quickly letting go of things it doesn't need anymore, even down to, you know, phlegm that's been in my throat that I don't need to bring along into this new reality. Okay, let's get to the good news. So in my world, I've been trying to catch up on bills. This seems like something that I have not been able to transcend. I've talked about it before. You know, I did the video about the 2-cup manifestation trick, which is, I think, just kind of a way to train your brain into connecting with those different sets of eyes so that you can start to appreciate and notice the things that you do have going on in your world. So I had just yesterday borrowed some money from someone that I was so grateful wanted to help me, but I did not want to borrow money from this person. And I had gone and paid a bunch of bills, and I was feeling really good about myself because I had been taking a lot of steps to make sure that I was behaving as someone who had their shit together would behave, you know, paying my bills, knowing that more money was coming. I was living in that world because I'm not that struggling person anymore. So I'm going to start behaving as though I'm not struggling anymore. All right. Step into that role. Well, I come home feeling super proud of myself for doing all these things. And there is an official letter on my door. And I open it up and it's a check. And I have to look a little bit closer because I'm like, is this a bill? Is this another bill? You know? And I'm like, oh God. And then I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute, what? So I start to read further and I discover that this is a settlement check from Wells Fargo Auto, where I had my auto loan a couple years ago. It turns out Wells Fargo got in a little bit of trouble because they forced a bunch of people including me, to buy auto insurance through their car loan when they didn't really need to. And I guess something about the way that was worded was actually illegal. So now they have to go back and pay back everybody for forcing them to buy this auto insurance. And then for a lot of people, it turning into a situation where they got their car repossessed. Well, that was me. A couple years ago, I was at work, and I got a phone call that they're taking my car. And so there I am at work, super embarrassed, way ashamed, feeling like massive loser. I got to run out because my car's getting repoed. You know, that set me back. I had to borrow some money from my boss, which again, I don't like to borrow money from people. I was grateful that I had that opportunity, but that was hard for me, you know? So here we go, 3 years later, I've been still trying to be catch up from that moment. And this shows up. Boom. Balancing things out, you know? Balancing things out. And it's just enough money that I'm going to be able to pay back the person that I borrowed money from and catch up on some other things that were really, really, really stressing me out. Wow, can you believe that? I mean, what a turnaround in a day. Is it the power of positive thought? It certainly helped. Was it my 2-cup manifestation technique? We'll find out because I've got a couple other things in the works, so we'll see if that happens. I don't know. You know what? I think it's the energy of balance and a collective noticing that people that work hard are just hard workers. They're not better at getting ahead because in some cases the system isn't made for you to get ahead. And that's kind of a bummer. So makes me think about that college scandal too, you know? How many smart people missed out on the opportunity to go to school because someone else got in that had a little more money, you know? I just had to share that. Yay for me. I know that was kind of a jumbled video because I had a lot on my mind. So if you made it this far, let's do a cheers for me. And I had been praying, you know, manifesting that by the time I hit 40, and my 40th birthday is next week, that I would be a grown-up, like a financial adult, and that I might be able to be caught up on my bills. And I was totally not expecting that. You know, I had this whole plan going about how I was going to make everything happen, and I was going to stick to that plan, and I wasn't worried that it wasn't going to flow. I trust myself now. But to have this gift show up from the universe, and in such a way that I know I deserve it. And they're also going to go back and fix my credit. They're going to take that off my credit as a bad mark on there, which means, yay, maybe I can actually get my credit on track. Yeah, so think twice about that. You know what? Maybe you know someone that's in debt or, you know, is struggling really hard to pay something back. You don't know their situation. You don't know anything about that situation. So, okay, have a great day. Bye.